Well, you know what? During the course of this investigation, you find out that people were watching this club way back when. I was in the 12th. I was in the 15th homicide to start with, and I was working on a Son of Sam case. And in the downtime, I would read these old cases, and there was a case in there from 1975, the homicide of Andre Katz. Here's a guy that was a car dealer, and they were all involved in cars and shipping them overseas. And this guy became an informant, and two of these wise guys from the DeMeo crew grabbed this guy and brought him out to a supermarket out in Queens and put him on a bandsaw after they killed him, chopped him up into a million pieces. Then they scattered the body parts into dumpsters in the neighborhood. And they left, and some neighbor's dog goes into a dumpster and pulls out a guy's arm. And now the cops come, and they call a medical examiner to the scene, and she put out a tarp and she put all the body parts back together again. You know,
That must have been freaky.
that's a sample of what they did. I mean, a lot of the bodies a lot of the people they killed, they had the bodies chopped up, brought them out to the Fountain Avenue dumps, put them in the dumps, and you never found the bodies. Of course, they used to move those piles of rubbish every day, you know, so you could never identify a point where they could have dropped the body.
And Dominic, in relation to them, he always says he became like an overseer of that crew at a certain point through his uncle.
Yeah, I guess he was supposed to go back to his uncle and report what they were doing, but he wasn't supposed to participate in what they were doing. But he did.
Did they respected Dom? I mean, what was
Well,
Dom's
he was very
status?
close to one or two of them. Henry Borelli, I think he was very close to, and a guy named Grillo, they killed also. Other than that, I don't think he cared for the other ones too much.
Right. But did they care for him? Did you see, was there camaraderie?
Well, I think they had to respect him because of Corsonino.
So
he found out a lot of things that were going on here, even though he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, what happened was Dominic's original father, didn't get along with. He was a fighter and he was a drinker, and he actually broke up the marriage between Dominic's mother and Dominic's father and got him out of the house.
and then that way,
Then he was able to manipulate Dominic the way he wanted. But he wasn't too happy that Dom went to war and did all that.
No, he didn't want Dominic in the army, and but he went anyway. He didn't want him to even be. At one point, Dominic, when he was young, was a halfway decent musician. They had a group of singers, and he tried to get Nina to promote it, from people he knew, but he wouldn't go along with it. He said the business was bad. It's a dirty business. Listen to him talking.
Dirty business, yeah.